What it do, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Elijah. This is Elijah Reviews. I went and saw Superman on Monday, 3 days after its release. I sat 2 days to let the movie sit with me before getting on camera and doing a review. Let you know ahead of time, biasness is not going to be over here on this channel. I get it. It's a couple angles folks going to play with this Superman movie. And I know which angle I fall in. You're going to have the political realm. You know, folks have a problem with him being labeled as an immigrant. I don't feed into none of that political realm and the word woke. I don't go tossing that around to fact I don't like a movie or a show. If you see my channel, you go to my YouTube shorts. I do comic book reviews. I do it on my TikTok as well. You can go follow me on TikTok if you're like. I'm a heavy comic book reader. I just finished the omnibus comic book for the Fantastic Four, which I'm gonna be doing a review on very soon. But so I don't care about that. I'm not gonna see a woman or cast in a role and get on camera calling everything woke and feel away. I'm not gonna go into cultness of a fandom. I'm not gonna be a James Gunn fan and praise everything he does. I love Zack Snyder. I love what he was doing. I'm hoping his universe would have had a chance to continue. It didn't. And I'm not a Zack Snyder cult. I'm gonna get on here and hate on anything happening with the new DCU. I am a huge comic book reader and fan. I want to see these stories told for these characters. I want to see them done right. I want to see them approved from comics. Sometimes stand to the comics and introducing these characters to you. And we can't do that if we're so stuck on not having what we originally wanted with who's behind the camera. It has moved past Zack Snyder. It's moved past Henry Cavill. It has moved past Ben Affleck. So we got to get to the point with these movies where we could sit and go into the category I'm about to say I just go watch the movie. And I analyze the movie, and I take some days before I do a review to think about what I really like think of the movie. So I went and saw Superman on Monday, and I had a lot of things I was reserving because the two reasons. James Gunn said this was going to be inspired by All-Star Superman comic book, which I'm not a fan of that comic. I did a review of that comic on my channel. I'm not a huge fan of All-Star Superman. I also seen the animated movie for All-Star Superman. Was not a big fan of it. So that had me pause for caution there. Then I seen all the characters in the trailer, and it brought me back to Batman versus Superman. Well, it didn't work for Batman versus Superman for me. And I know you ever seen honest trailers, they hinting on it. It had to tackle too many goals. It had the Lex being the villain, the rise of Doomsday, the death of Superman. Wonder Woman appeared to tease the forming of the Justice League. The Batman versus Superman had to happen. Ben Affleck didn't have a solo Batman movie yet, so it had to serve as an intro to Batman, and it was asking the movie to tackle too much. And I feel like people want to harp on the Martha scene to be the thing to shit on the movie the most. I feel like the biggest problem was the plot sometimes felt like it was all over the place. So I saw all the people in the trailer here, and I was concerned because of that. Rest assured, my concern was put to rest. I think they blended very well. I think Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, at times Mr. Terrific was still in the movie for me. I think and Hawk Girl partnership as the Justice Gang. They're not the Justice League yet, the Justice Gang. I think they was very well used and not. I don't want to say they wasn't underused, but it wasn't overused at the same time. It was enough to start reminding us we're in this universe with multiple heroes are lurking. It's not just Superman, but enough that it still felt like a Superman movie. And I really enjoyed that part and that aspect of it. Sometimes I feel like Superman is at his best when they don't shy away from the love story of him and Lois. And this one really was Lois centric. And I know, guys, you're gonna have a problem with the Lois thing. Oh my God, y'all put the woman in the front of the thing. Superman, like Spider-Man, the comic book Spider-Man, Gwen Stacy, Black Cat, Mary Jane. Batman has baby mamas. He has a baby mama. Batman, Catwoman, Talia al Ghul. Superman is just Lois. And the comic books really zone in on that lore story. They've been able to make TV shows called Superman and Lois, The Adventures of Clark and Lois, because she's such a pivotal part of Superman's story. So you don't shy away from that because your audience, they don't want to see a woman in any fucking thing. And I feel like Superman a lot of times shines when they zone in on that love story, because even though he tried to be as human as possible, he is an alien, and she brings that human side of him. And I think it's a good reflection of the difference, because Superman is an alien. He sees everybody as good, while Lois questions everything and everybody. I think Lex Luthor in this movie was fantastic. I don't know the actor name who played Lex. He was fantastic, and he was absolutely menacing in that movie. It was I don't know if everybody's seen it yet. I think we should wait a week before we give up pure spoilers. But it's a scene in now that he just shows his ruthlessness. Superman in this movie, you know, they had a scene where so I don't want to say that, but if you saw the movie, he saves Animal, and I know that that scene's gonna do one or two for your audience. Either people gonna go, oh, this is a great example of how Superman like to save everything, or some people gonna see it as uncalled for, definitely the CGI of the Animal, but but the movie and its pacing, I like the way it started. Superman coming to Earth in a ship, Batman parents being killed in the alley, Spider-Man built by the spider, and the death of Uncle Ben, and some things us, the audience, don't need to see again. We'll see it many times. So I like the Star Wars-y feeling of the words popping on the screen, 30, 30, 30, 30, just catching us up on what's happening, and then boom, we right into action with Superman losing at the moment, something we have never started with Superman before. So I felt like it nailed there. The soundtrack was absolutely phenomenal. Loved the soundtrack. I had a question about something when he was finding Ultraman that's being controlled by Lex. You know, 1A, 1B, when telling Ultraman, the commanding Ultraman, what to do. And I'm like, shouldn't Superman be fast enough to attack before Lex is even able to say a command? So that's something that was getting me a little bit there. But what else? The flying was good. Wasn't nothing too crazy, the flying. They didn't have this crazy flying sequence besides the one you see in the trailer where he says eyes up here and he goes straight up. But there's no crazy like Spider-Man web swinging moments. I did like a lot of comic book characters that I've known that haven't got a chance to be on the big screen. Some has been on the CW Arrowverse, but now on the big screen. So Jimmy Olsen is in here, Cat Grant is in here, and at the end on the TV I seen Maxwell Lord speaking. So it was a lot of more comic book characters finally getting to see be on screen. That was important to me. The fighting I think was great. Definitely the scene you see in the trailer on the baseball field I think was great. Overall, to me, it is the best Superman movie ever. It surpassed Man of Steel for me. And I really like Man of Steel. Man of Steel was the first Superman movie I really have liked. I'm not a huge Superman fan. I've read a lot of his comics. Not a big fan of his comics. I'm more of a Batman fan. I've done a lot of Batman reviews on my channel, so Superman I'm more of a harsher critic of. And that's why I'm always giving Zack Snyder credit for it. He gave me a Superman. Him and Henry Cavill gave me a Superman that I really liked. I think this one just topped it. I think it has the action, it has the emotional part. It's the moment you see in the trailer that a lot of people didn't like, the clip that came out, I mean that a lot of people didn't fucking like, was Lois interviewing him as Superman and the tenseness of it. I think it went very well in the movie with everything that was happening. I like Lois already knowing he's Superman and them already be dating. We got their first I love you in this movie. So I love that we had to go through the whole thing of, ooh, when I'm gonna tell Lois my identity thing. But I also was a little like, he did the first I love you to her in this movie. And she already know he's Superman. So I'm like, bro, did you tell her that little premature? I think I would get to the love stage and before I reveal to you that I'm Superman. He told her he's Superman. She knows it as the movie starts. But later in the movie, he finally says for the first time, I love you to her. And I'm like, bro, I think you did that in order. I love you supposed to happen. Then later you supposed to tell her you Superman. Because I wouldn't trust just anybody with that secret. They did a major change with Superman parents from Krypton. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. Because I think a lot of that is Man of Steel, Russell Crowe. I think Man of Steel did such a great job of intertwining his Krypton parents into his personality and his identity when General Zod is trying to change him to conquer Earth and make it new Krypton. The messages of his Kryptonian parents is what keeps him up to fight for humanity. Yes, his parents have always been a good inspiration for him, but I don't think no one did it as well as Zack Snyder did in that one. So in this movie, it's a little off-putting that his family, his parents, unless we learn later that the audio was altered. But in fact, the movie did its best to make sure we knew it wasn't altered. You know, Mr. Terrific, you know, is getting shown to be this amazing genius and tech genius, and he's saying that video was real. So unless they reveal it later that it isn't, I don't know how I feel about that change when it comes to the message his parents left him. I feel you did it to make the Earth parents more important, to elevate them, and said in the end scene where he gets the video of them around. I did like, so I don't think I've seen too much. His mama had a real strong Kansas accent in this, and a lot of times I don't hear an accent from his Earth parents, and they're from Kansas. I wondered at quite a time, like, why does it not portray a lot with a Kansas type accent? So I did like that. But overall, I think it was a real good movie. I give it a strong 8.5 out of 10, maybe 9. So go see Superman, please. If you go watch this movie and you're gonna watch these movies, cut over into the comic book world and these amazing stories to be told. There are stories like right now they can't do Power Girl. I just read Power Girl comic not too long ago, a real good omnibus. Great story, but they can't do it. The moment they do Power Girl and drop a Power Girl trailer, y'all gonna be on, oh my God, they forcing women on us. It's all so woke. And it's so many stories I want to see told, but y'all pussies are not gonna let these stories get told, because you're gonna bitch the moment it's a woman or a black person in a fucking movie. But please come over to us and drop the biasness at the door and try to enjoy these stories and go on the ride. They want to do Young Avengers over there in Marvel. Y'all already complaining about that. Like, shut the fuck up. Complaining about the material when it comes to the actual quality they're giving you, fine. But when you're complaining about the shit because you want some type of social, political, angle that you're on, these comic books being woke, whatever y'all want to call it, you hijack that word, have fun. These comics been that. They been about protecting people that can't defend themselves. They been having positive political messages. You grew up and became a piece of shit, so you don't relate to the messages no more. They didn't go woke, you went piece of shit. But go watch Superman. If you don't like it, please come to the comments and tell me why. I'm happy to hear that. But please don't come to me on an angle, whether it's political or whether it's a cult fan base wise. You can't compare the movies. You can't compare Man of Steel to this movie. It's a good thing to do, but do it with objectivity and let's talk about the movie. But go see Superman.